What we doing there? Salute to my audience. I hope you're good. Let's subscribe. Notification bell on. I hope your families are good too. And I hope if you're buying presents, you're buying it for the right folks. Be mindful. Yeah? Don't be buying all sorts of things for all sorts of wrong people and that. You know, make it count. Now, I know that Simon Dangles and the new smoker in the Smoker's Corner are over there addressing my jail history, which is funny to me. Then I get a couple messages from my audience asking the question they wanted to know. So let me be a little insightful for you and let me give you the facts of my journey. And I know it sounds negative, but just bear with me. And if I forget names, it's not on purpose. You know how it goes. When you're in them walls, you come across so many different folks and that. But I can tell you for sure, it was 2010, the first time I ever went to prison. It was Wormwood Scrubs, and it was January, because my birthday's in January, so I'll never forget it. But I remember New Year just passed. I think it was like the 10th of January or something, to be precise. I went to Wormwood Scrubs, from police station to court, from the court straight to Wormwood Scrubs. I think I was in, Isleworth Crown. So when I'm getting on that bus to go to prison, all I'm thinking of is the folks' stories and that. So when I'm taking that bus ride to the big house, I'm just thinking, rah, I'm going to jail. And I didn't have time to start feeling like, even though I know in my heart I've let my family down, but I wasn't feeling them emotions at the time. I was more thinking like, what can I expect beyond this door? What's in store for me? Remember, I've been rapping since 2008, so I know I'm not no known rapper, no, but I've been rapping. And if you know how I used to rap, my style was very aggressive, very rude. So I get there, I get into reception, and that's all I'm thinking. They start giving man the greys, that's the tracksuit bottoms and the tracksuit jumper and the blue t-shirt. I'm like, I've been hearing the stories about these things here, man. Man's got to wear these things here, it's crazy, So I start, make some little adjustments. Start turning up the Ross Clark trouser leg and, I don't know who's been wearing these things before, man. It's crazy. But what I do remember is I think in Scrubs they had a first night center, they called it. And that was like a big space with like 8 or 10 different beds in it, in the big space. And if you just came in to jail that evening or that day, you was gonna spend 24 to 48 hours there. So I'm in there. Now, I've always been a humble person, but because I know how I carry myself and my mannerisms and stuff, I'm on point to the sense. I have to understand that if anybody's looking at me funny, there's probably a good reason to it. So I'm looking out for anybody looking funny. But to be fair, it was calm. There was no issues, there was no problems. No one was trying to address man in any type of tone or nothing. It was all cool. Couple people doing that clue thing, So then I remember induction wing was, I feel like it was B wing. I remember going to B wing. I spent a night in the first night center space. Or was it 2 nights? It might have been 2 nights, They give you your phone number for your PIN. At first, they just give you a number just to use. So, you call mumsy straight away. You call your folks and that. You call the missus. You make them know where you're at, what's going on, Then once that runs out, they give you your actual PIN, which you can use future references and stuff. So I'm in there with nothing, bear in mind. Just the tracksuit that they've given me. No canteen. They give you the little starter kit. Biscuits, tea bags, couple chocolates, some idiot thing. You boxed that off on the first night. Cause remember, if you've been police station, then court, then you're hungry. Yeah? No kind of good food is being cooked for you, buddy. It's over. So I arrived on B Wing. And I remember people like MK, Stonebridge, salute MK, my dog. Was Temps there? Shepherd's Bush. Was Temps on B Wing? I can't remember. Was Joe Black? No, Blacks was already on A Wing. But I'm just giving you the names of the people that I was cool with. So they're the few names that I can remember. And like I said, I'm always going to remember names. So no disrespect intended. I'm just trying to, I'm moving off motion right now. I'm not even scripting nothing down. I think if I'm not mistaken, I must have spent, how long did I spend? I think I spent, how long did I spend on B-Wing? Let's say up to a month, 2 weeks, 2 to 4 weeks I was on B-Wing. So every day, you know, you go into the yard, banged up 23 hours a day, out for 1 hour. That's when you get your shower, all those things. Other than that, you're coming out for your lunch, you're coming out for your dinner, but that's it. I was in a 2-man cell at the time. Russian guy. Yeah, it's over, buddy. It's crazy. Yeah, big man, you're on the top bunk. I'm down here, please. But he was cool. He was cool. And you got to understand, like, my first time, even little things like that, and that's off instinct, me saying, yo, big man, I'm taking the bottom bunk. I come to find out later on that, yeah, there's this, what's the word? People have opinions on people that are on the top bunk. Let's just put it like that. Apparently, you're the less of a man if you're on the top bunk. But by instincts, I was never jumping up on no bunk bed at my age and at my height. No. So I spent 4 weeks, I would say, 2 to 4 weeks on B-Wing. Calm, no problems, no situations. Few people doing the clue thing. It's calm though. Big up everybody that was there on B-Wing. I then get moved to A-Wing. When I get to A-Wing, I kind of landed on my feet because I go into a cell and the brother is a survey worker. What's his name again? Crazy. Can't remember the brother's name, man. That's going to annoy me. But he was a survey guy, which meant his door was open from like 8 till 12 and then again from like 2 till 6. You know, so I've gone from 23 hours a day, bang up, 1 hour out, to now I've got this freedom here. So with this freedom here, I'm just on the landing looking over on my balcony, as they would call it, because there's 4 levels. Ground, first, second, wait, I'm going mad. Ground, the 1s, the 2s, the 3s and the 4s. Yeah, Scrubs had 4. So there's 4 levels. Well, I'm on the 4th level. So when I'm looking down and I'm looking how this wing is massive, you know, I'm like, this is... So now, even though B-Wing was kind of like that, but it wasn't as... I know it sounds like a why, it's crazy, but it wasn't as big as A-Wing. Do you get what I'm trying to say? So I'm looking at A-Wing like, this is really prison. This is really prison. So, Joe Black's on the wing. Temps is on the wing. Joel, Liam, Hackney's on the wing. Frank, my brother, you done know. Hackney on the wing. Bucky, Hackney on the wing. Trying to think. MK was on the wing. And if you was on the wing, you know, salute. Yeah? So, again, cool with the folks and that. So I'm naturally calm. I'm naturally cool. No issues, no situations. No one's trying to forward on man on some gangster vibe. It's not happening. It's cool. Everything's cool. The brother that I'm in the cell with manages to get me a job on the surgery. Do you get it? So now I'm calm because I'm like, yeah, this is the pattern. Cell door stays open. I'm about. So I'm on all the landings, ground, 1s, 2s, 3s, 4s, talking to all sorts of folks in all sorts of cells. You understand? So I'm familiar, getting familiar now. I ended up spending, I want to say a year. Because remember, when I've gone to prison, I haven't been convicted. I've been remanded. Yeah, I've been remanded for, at the time, it's kidnap and it's firearms. I think I spent just over a year on that wing. When I end up going back to court, the kidnap is dropped because they ain't got no evidence of that. I'm just done for the firearm. But because they couldn't recover a firearm, they've done me for imitation firearm. And the reason to that is because people said I was present with a firearm on me. Obviously, they couldn't find the firearm. But because people was willing to testify against me, I had to take a plea bargain to imitation firearm. You know, I said I had a water pistol. You know that? So cool. I get my sentence. I come back. I ended up getting just over 3.5 years. I come back. I'm on the wing. Everything calm. As time's going on, the ship out buses come for me and they're taking me to Blundeston. Yeah, Blundeston. So remember, no dramas in this prison, no problems in this prison. Didn't have to throw no hands and throw no feet in this prison. Yeah? Blundeston bus comes to me. I'm on the Blundeston bus. It's over, buddy. I get to Blundeston. Blundeston, I think, is closed down now. It's been closed down for a while. Correct me if I'm wrong. I get to Blundeston. In Blundeston, who's in Blundeston when I first land in Blundeston? Io, Peckham, Mega, Peckham, Bones, Hendon, Northwest. And I know Bones, because Bones was with me in Scrubs, so I knew Bones. Bones was there. Abs, shout out my brother Abs. Who else was in Blundeston, man? Again, I'm not gonna remember all names. So Blundeston was calm. Then what ends up happening? Blundeston, it's weird though, how the cells were, it was like narrow corridors, then you forward up some steps onto the landings where there's like 2 or 3 cells on each landing. I'm on the top landing, which I think was the freeze. IO and Mega cells opposite my cell. And I'm in a cell. 4 man in a cell, by the way, in Blundeston. 4 man in a cell. 2 bunk beds in the cell. I'm in there with Bones, Abs. Shout out my brother Crazy M, Brixton. How can I forget you, bro? We're in a 4. And opposite us is IO, Mega, Little Fighter, I think is in there. And who else is in there? Someone else in there. But because I know Bones, and me and Bones have got a rapport, I've naturally landed on my feet again. So Bones is saluting me to the folks and that. Cool, the folks and that are cool. Everybody's blessed. Fast forward, Barry, my brother, comes to Blundeston. So we get rid of one. Who did we get rid of? When Barry came in the cell, who did we get rid of? Who did we get rid of? Or did Bones move out? I feel like Bones moved out of the cell. Or it was Abs. Someone's moved out of the cell. Because Barry's my dog. We got Barry in the cell. So we're in the cell now, innit? Again, calm. Barry's come with the weed. So we're good. Everybody's smoking weed. On the landing, you had a little bit more freedom. Doors would open from like 8. They used to do toast and that downstairs. Go get your toast in the morning and that. People that had to go to work or education. But if you didn't have work or education, you're on the wing. They lock off the gate at the bottom. You're on the wing now, but your door's kind of open because the man them had the govs pattern to just bust the doors. So naturally, we're just chilling. We're outside. We're chilling. DD came to the jail. Pose, shout out my brother Pose, came to the jail. I think DD and Pose, they was in a 2-man, if I'm not mistaken. I'm trying to think he was in the other 4-man, so I can't recall though. But long story short, it's governed. It's governed, it's calm, everything calm. Again, Blundeston, no dramas, no problems with man, nothing. From Blundeston, this is all 2010, 2011 we're into now. From Blundeston, they took me to Wayland. Yeah, if I'm not mistaken. And the good thing about Blundeston, they had the big 11-a-side pitch. And if you was good enough, which you know a man was, they would make you play against the Army. The Army used to come on a Wednesday or a Thursday night. And the Army would play the man them. You know, say man's in the team. Io was in the team, Baller. Couple of the G's them was in the team. Barry wasn't in the team, you know. So he used to get annoyed when the man they would say, remember, we're going to play football when everyone's banged up. So like 6 o'clock bang up, we're going to play football. We're not getting back to the wings until like 9, half 9. They would let us quickly shower, then it's to the cells. So that was a good thing with Blundeston, I can't lie. But Blundeston was calm, no problems, no issues. I get shipped to Wayland now. I get to Wayland. Twirlies in Wayland. Who's in Wayland? Who's in Wayland? Bucky ended up forwarding over to Wayland. Who else is in Wayland, man? That year there. Forgive me if I forget your name. Was Minnie that year? I think Minnie was Minnie that year? Minnie might have been that year. You know, my brother. Salute Min. You get me? Kilburn. Minnie was in there, I think, that year. Nobi. Fields. Nobi was there that year. I'm sure that was the year Nobi was there as well. Tion. Shout out my brother Tion. I don't know where Madman Tion is right now, but salute my dog. Was that the year with Tion? I went to Wayland twice in my whole time of in jail. I've done jail like 10 years basically of jail. And Wayland, I'm sure I've been there twice. I'm trying to think the first year I went there was Tion. I don't think Tion was there the first year. I think it was Twirly, Bucky. When was Money? Shout out my brother Money. Wood Green. Was that 2011 or was that later? I can't recall, but Wayland was calm. That's all I remember. Big exercise yard. The man used to do hella laps. They had the new side and the old side. I was on the old side. I was on house block. Was on A wing or B wing? I think I was on B wing. Induction wing was A wing, and then I think they've took me to B wing, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah. Shout out Brady. Brady was there too. So yeah, Wayland was calm. Man started doing all sorts of hustling. Blundeston couldn't really do no hustling. Scrubs, man, was hustling. So just give me the little backstory. Wayland now, hustling. We're in there. Salute to everybody that I've met on my journey. Like I said, I'm going to forget so many of you lot, but no disrespect intended. Wayland again, no problems, no drama, no passer. But I'm going to make this, I'm going to continue this, man. I'm not, because there's so much to talk about. To put it into one segment is crazy. So look, salute my audience. Like I said, what you want to know from me, I'm willing to tell you. The Smokers Corner, I don't know what they're talking about. But that's the first 3 prisons I went to on my first bird. Yeah? Scrubs, Blundeston, Wayland. Didn't go High Point, did I? Nah. So yeah, it's the landing, man. You never know what we might talk about.
Call me Saint Nick. Caesar with me too. Going ape shit. Gorillas in the zoo. We had to break shit.